Welcome back to AM Northwest. Cardiovascular disease is a leading cause of death in the U.S., but you can make lifestyle changes to reduce your risks. Here to share 4 simple ways to support heart health, we welcome back the author of Your Best Shot, weight health expert and registered dietitian, Ashley Koff. Good to see you again.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so how much does weight play in our heart health?
Yeah, so I think weight it plays a very important role, but not the way we have been talking about weight. So
what is the way we have been talking about
weight? Yeah, we've been talking about the total number. And so we've been saying like, hey, if you're this total number or your weight for your height in terms of body mass index, and we've been focusing on that, weight composition, our bone, muscle, and fat is actually really important when it comes to your heart health. So we have to shift it a little bit in terms of that. So if we have excess fat, that's going to be important. If we have visceral fat, and so fat in the wrong place, and we also want
in our stomach, right?
Yes, right. Yeah, or go in the liver, like on that part. So it's not one we want to discount, but we really want to decode it more effectively.
So you say you have 4 simple ways to kind of help us segue into better heart health.
Yes.
So the first one says to reset your sweet taste buds.
Yes, we tend to go for sweet things when our body is experiencing fatigue, maybe when our digestive system isn't working better.
Yeah.
And also when we haven't eaten a better balance of nutrients. Maybe we've tried to be like super healthy and just had the salad greens with the piece of fish, and we're like, I want something sweet. So if our sweet taste buds, if you bite into an apple and on a scale of 1 to 10, it's not a 7 or greater in terms of sweetness, where 10 is the most sweet, then that's going to tell me that your sweet taste buds aren't working effectively.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so what we'll want to do in terms of a reset, I go through that in the book, but we really want to look at actually leaning into sugar that's found in nature, not sugar that we add, whether that's in a non-caloric sweetener or as an added sugar.
Okay, and you say for how long do we do this?
Well, usually I have people, because it's like your voice, you're like,
because I know how long you said to do this.
Right, exactly.
And I thought to myself, that might be impossible.
Yes, exactly. So let's start with 7 to 14 days, and let's see if that reset can work. I usually find if it's not working in 7 to 14 days, meaning you bite back into the apple, that'll tell me there's something underlying for us to investigate.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Then you say to focus on quality fat versus going to extremes.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of misinformation about fats out there today. First of all, no fat exists in nature as an omega-3 versus an omega-6. And seeds are a great source of fat. When we don't do good things to our fats, so meaning when we hyper-process them, when we have artificial fats or modified fats, or certainly when we go fat-free, that's actually not going to be better for our body. So think about foods that have fat in nature: avocado, olives, fish. I'm okay with fat from cheese or from in meat.
Oh, great!
Yes, totally. I just don't want like sauces that are high in fat, or I don't want us to keep adding things, especially the ones that are more processed on that part. Okay. So that's a good place to lean into.
Is that why Americans are so fat compared to Europeans, say? Is it because...
Really good point. So eating fat doesn't make us fat, but giving our body things that it doesn't know how to use. So we've really processed and refined, and we've actually moved, taken things like we have enriched flour, which is actually so deficient. I call it de-riched. It's so, we've gotten all the nutrients out of it, and then we add other stuff. And then my third point is going to help us really understand why we have more of a weight issue in this country, a weight health issue.
Which is?
Our digestion.
Yeah.
So when our digestion is suboptimally functioning, the body's own weight health hormones, things like GLP-1 and GIP, cannot work optimally. That means things like our ability to feel full, our blood sugar, our blood pressure, inflammation, all of these other things are not working better. And it means that even if we're eating healthy foods, they don't become healthy in the body. The body can't use them. So I really want us to pay attention to, especially in Heart Health Month, which I actually think should be every month of the year. But I think I want you to think about, am I using Band-Aids? Am I taking over-the-counter medications? Am I on medications? Do I need to do things in order to have a bowel movement? Or, am I getting these signals that my digestion isn't better? That's where we have to focus.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And lastly, you say, lay off the sauce.
Let's have a moment.
Lay off the sauce. And we're not talking like a sauce you put on spaghetti.
Right, yeah. So alcohol is a toxin, and I think
Yeah.
we've tried to dress it up in a variety of ways. You know, we lean into like, well, wine has resveratrol, and there's hops in beer, and
Yeah.
like, or what's the most clean alcohol, Ashley? Everybody asks you that one. Like, can't I just, have tequila? And the issue is that like alcohol.
No,
it's like,
wait.
yes, yes,
Seriously?
yes,
Have you
100.
really gotten
Oh
that
my
question?
gosh! Look, I practiced in Los Angeles for 20 years. Like,
Okay.
let me be clear.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh yeah, everybody is like vodka and tequila. Like, I can go ahead and have those.
Because
those
they're
are
clear?
They're clear and they're clean. And that's the
Oh.
communication. And some people will look at, well, my wine is clean. It's tested low or no glyphosate. Okay, that's great. But the alcohol is still, I am focused on. And points 3 and 4 are really important because when we think about it, what we know that alcohol does is it's going to disrupt your digestive system. And in particular, it is a toxin not just for the liver, but for the lining of the digestive tract. So I'm going to bring it back to those weight health hormones that we talked about, because those hormones actually have receptor sites in our blood vessel walls and also on the heart muscle. So it's this whole picture, and I always say to my clients, if you're drinking alcohol consistently, you're washing your floor with dirty shoes. We're trying all these other things. You're like, I'm trying to eat right, I'm trying to lower my stress. And yet the alcohol is a disruptor. So I would say that it's better for you. I know a lot of people just left dry January and they're like, yay, it's February, like kind of thing. But I think that we should maybe take some lessons. I've had a lot of people who told me they slept better during dry January, or maybe they took off some pounds during dry January. We need to lean into less alcohol for sure.
Okay, well, we want to tell everyone your book again is titled Your Best Shot. Ashley Koff, great to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.